Is Brad Wright being frozen out of the new Stargate series? Or is he just playing a very clever game? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So Brad Wright's had a new interview, and he's been talking about Stargate again. Mainly because of this new Stargate he's actually delivered. This fantastic project he's been involved in to deliver an entirely new Stargate storyline, generated completely by artificial intelligence. Basically, he's got together with Google and they fed this computer 300 plus scripts of Stargate. They then set some character parameters and basically the computer created a brand new story. He's got some old favourites: Amanda Tapping, Michael Shanks, Jewel State, and David Hewlett. David Hewlett is, by the way, one of my favourite, sort of main characters. Rodney is just great, and if when they do bring Stargate back, I really hope there's a place for Rodney in there, because he's just one of those actors. He's just great in everything, even when he's acting like a complete bellend. He's brilliant. Anyway, so they got these guys to read through the script on Companion, where Brad Wright has a regular little podcast. I haven't seen it yet. I can't wait to see it. If you have seen it, please let me know. Is it any good? Because I'm really hopeful. It's actually new Stargate, which is what we want, isn't it? Right? But in this interview, he talked about his plans for Stargate. He's talked about how he was writing the initial storyline. He has written a pilot double episode, and basically he's given us a few little tidbits. He's basically said General Samantha Carter will be leading the show. I actually also suggest, though, that she's going to be directing episodes and be really involved with behind the camera, but getting her involved there and using that as a bit of a tease to get her back into the show will be fantastic. He's also talked about how the world will probably end up knowing all about Stargate and the secret will be out. That's a big change to the original story. One of the things we loved about Stargate was that it had this whole storyline going on, but it was contemporary. It was actually in our universe, sort of thing. It could be real, so that will be a big change for the show if that is actually carried through into the Amazon version of what's being planned for Stargate. He did again reiterate that the original plans and his original story was kind of put on hold initially by COVID, but then he does make the point that migrating from MGM to Amazon has now also put the series on hold until the sale is finalised, which may not be until 2022 or mid-2022. This isn't going to happen. Everything is on hold right now. But he does say a little bit more about the original story that he's hoping to develop. And he did say that he wants a new story. He wants new characters. But he wants it to honour the original. And he wants to bring some characters back. Potentially even Richard Dean Anderson. Definitely Michael Shanks. Definitely Amanda Tapping. He wants to bring those back. And he wants to have sort of a blended new show. With new stories, new mythologies to be explored. We've done Egypt. Is there something else we can explore? And he wants to open up the entire universe again. This is really what we want to hear, and I'm really hoping Amazon are listening to Brad Wright, because we don't want a reboot that destroys the original and pees all over it. I'm going to say Star Trek now. The new noughties Star Trek really does trample on a lot of what we consider Star Trek to be and what it should be. Changing the Klingons, changing the style, they changed everything. They've peed all over canon in lots of ways. We don't want Stargate to do that, and for the love of God, please don't. But Brad Wright did go on to say something else which made me a little bit concerned, and lots of videos I've seen about this interview don't seem to have really picked up on this. But he goes on to say that he cannot envisage MGM or Amazon not doing something with Stargate. Now, I'm going to read between the lines here a little bit. That, to me, sounds like he doesn't know what the current plans are. Now, I've told you in other videos that I've actually got a source that's reasonably close to MGM, and they've been able to tell me that Amazon are very, very keen for Stargate to get up and running as quickly as possible. That's not going to happen until the sale goes through, like I say, but they're very, very keen for this to happen. They consider it the sleeping giant of sci-fi, and they want it on our screens as quickly as possible. Pre-production work, as much as can be done, is being done. If Brad Wright isn't aware of that, That is concerning. That suggests to me that maybe Amazon have took this over. That Amazon want this done as quickly as possible, and they perhaps want their own people to be leading it. They consider the franchise to be a really important part of what they want to do in the future. They also then told MGM that they wanted them to think a lot bigger, and the plans that they had in place was not what they envisaged. So, are they maybe moving away from Brad Wright's plans and maybe getting someone else to lead the project? If they are, I would say that's a massive mistake by Amazon. If you want to get this franchise to get a lot of excitement and to really get the fans on side, get Brad Wright on side. If he is involved, we will be a lot more excited than if he isn't. But is it that he isn't involved, or he doesn't know what's going on anymore? Or is it that he is playing a game? Is he actually just being really careful about what he's saying? So he is teasing that this is happening, but it's not greenlit yet, so he's got enough sense not to say more than that. Or is there another possibility? Is it that that this juggernaut that is Amazon has come into MGM, maybe he is getting sidelined a little bit. So by talking about Amazon, maybe he's playing a little bit of a game. Maybe he is just getting the fans hooked. Now, he hasn't said anything too deep, so he's not going to get into trouble with Amazon necessarily. But he is just making sure the fans are teased just enough that makes it really difficult for Amazon not to involve him, or also not to include his storyline ideas. Maybe he is just putting the ball back into Amazon's court and saying, there you go, this is what I've got in mind, and the fans are behind me. So if you don't support what I want to do, then, I could make this really difficult for you. I could actually, turn the fans against you. And let's be honest, the fans are already in two minds about this. I get a lot of comments from massive fans of Stargate, and they're incredibly excited. A lot of people don't really believe this is ever going to happen, and I don't blame you either. But a lot of people are incredibly excited. But one of the things they say over and over again is this going to go on Amazon? I'm going to have to pay for an Amazon subscription. Or, God forbid, in the UK, Stargate, at the moment at least, is on the MGM channel. Stargate SG-1, though, isn't. Stargate SG-1 is only on Amazon, but it's not part of Prime. You have to pay for it. Either you have to buy the series or you have to buy the episodes. Stargate Atlantis is on the MGM channel, and so is Stargate SG-U. But none of those are either part of Prime. I have to pay for a second MGM channel subscription. So I'm paying my Prime subscription and my MGM subscription. Would it be conceivable that Amazon would put any new Stargate immediately onto the MGM channel? It would make sense. It would push that channel and recoup some of that investment that Amazon are putting in. But it would mean that I have to then pay for another damn subscription. That is not going to go down well. Now, if they do that in America as well, it's just it's a subscription within a subscription. It's just maddening, and that isn't going to be popular. Also, Amazon generally as a company isn't massively popular. They were expecting this sale of MGM to go through already, but it's getting bogged down because the regulators aren't Amazon's biggest fans. They think they are a little bit fuzzy when it comes to the law. They think this is not really fair competition, and there is a distinct possibility that this sale actually might not go through. There's a big drive actually for it not to go through. There's a lot of public opinion for it, pushing the regulators to not let it go through. So Amazon are on a bit of a knife edge. They're not the most popular company in the world. What they plan to do with the Stargate series might not be the most popular thing in the world, and they might not be including Brad Wright. If that is the case, the fans are going to be very nervous even when this does get greenlit. So let's hope that I am just reading more into what he said than there is. Let's hope I'm reading between the lines and getting it on my way out. But from what he actually said, I am a little bit concerned. So I would suggest, as Stargate fans, we get behind Brad Wright. We make videos like this. We make comments. We get out there and tell MGM exactly what we want them to do with Stargate, and that we make sure Brad Wright is at least involved, hopefully, though, in charge and at the helm. So, fingers crossed, Amazon, listen. If you are new to the channel, please like and subscribe, hit that bell notification and do all that. It really helps us out. Join us on Facebook, the link's in the description, and join us on Discord and tell me what you want to see from Stargate in the future. The link is also in the description. As always, guys, please stay safe, and I will see you next time.